Network. We are so excited. I have my co-host, Christy Austin, with us today. Super excited to just talk about what's going on, what we're doing with Builders Collective, and then also just, what's going on in our lives and what we're teaching on. So, Christy, without further ado, what you got for us today? I'm excited to hear what you have.
Yeah, well, okay, so this week is the week where we are talking about how to fail forward. So that's a big
Mm,
giant
yep.
concept, like failing forwards. Massive. Most people are so failure that they never live out their dreams.
Mm.
Sometimes go the other way. They don't have any fear of failure and they start a million dreams, right?
Yes. Yes.
And they don't make any of them. So we got that going on. But today, what I really want to talk about is shifting that, is we've been talking about that all week. And
Mm.
I heard this podcast over the weekend. And on it, they said, I don't remember the name of the podcast to give it credit, but on it, she said, what if you challenge yourself to fail 5 times every single month?
Wow.
And I'm thinking a lot about that. Like, why? Because failure is data in progress, right, Connor?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
back at the times that you've tried something, fallen on your face perceivably, but you learned so much. Like, that is the greatest learning lesson, right?
Right. For sure.
If you saw my Monday morning motivation post, I talked about Thomas Edison and how many times did it take him to invent the light bulb? Do you know, Connor?
You've asked me this before and I've forgotten. So I think it was
Okay,
like 600, I want to say, something like
a th-
that. Ah,
nice.
dang it.
Hey, Henry, you got
Yeah.
remember.
I got to remember for next time.
Yeah. So literally, like if you think about it, like he has this light bulb, screws it in. Nope, doesn't work. Unscrews it, tweaks a couple things, screws it back in. Nope, doesn't screw it. So, like, did he look at every one of those as failure, or was it like, oh, that didn't work. Let's see what I can learn and fix, And so 900.
Yeah.
What if he would have given up 999 times? Like, yeah, none of us would be able to podcast because we wouldn't have lights
Yeah.
like lit face, right?
Right. Right. For sure.
Yeah, and so if we reframe failure to be like it's data in progress, like
Mm.
we are learning a ton. And so I've been thinking about this with a lot of business owners and thinking about like Steve Jobs, who was fired from Apple. And
Mm.
I don't know if you know this, J.K. Rowling. Are you a fan, J.K.
Oh, yeah.
Rowling?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well,
I like
he
his stuff.
he submitted to like dozens of publishers who rejected his content.
Wow.
And so he actually was on public assistance, like super, super poor. And so
Mm.
until and so, we look at all of these people and it's like if they would not have kept going, that's the hardest part. Will you do it
Mm.
again? So
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, classic businesses, and I think that can be the hardest part is like, okay, I got knocked down. Will I get up and walk again? Right.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. That's really good. Yeah, I agree. I think that for myself, I can relate a lot to that because, and I think I've explained this to you before, but there was a time when I owned a painting company and we weren't making enough, and so we had to close the painting company down. And it was like 2 years, honestly, before I started really thinking and dreaming about building again because I was so um probably not traumatized. I wasn't traumatized, but I was so
Micro
fearful.
trauma.
Yeah, micro. It's still trauma. No,
That's
no,
right.
but I was so fearful of failing again that I turned everything off. Like I just turned my
Mm.
mind off. I just went and got a serving job and was like, you know what, I'm not gonna think, I'm not going to dream, I'm not gonna build because I don't want what happened here to happen again. Um, and
Yeah.
honestly, those 2 years was very hard because I wasn't expressing myself in the, entrepreneur way. I wasn't thinking or dreaming. So a lot of my emotions even got shut down, which was very interesting.
Mm,
But yeah, so learning from that experience is like, I can't do that again. I know that if I fail or, um, if something doesn't go right, I know that I can't go back to just shutting everything out because it produces the worst part of me, right? But I
mhm.
found in that specific situation, and even now, because there's many times where I fail. Even this last week, working on my camper, trying to fix my camper roof. It's not done, and I'm not there to finish it, but I realize that every day I have to get up with the mindset of I'm just going to go. I'm just going to do it. I'm
Mhm.
just going to keep going even though yesterday was awful and I didn't get what I was supposed to get done and I failed 3 or 4 times trying to do this one thing. I know that I have to keep going in order to see a difference, see change. And so that's definitely something that I learned from the painting business into now is like I can't shut everything out, you know? So
Mhm. Yeah. And what I hear in you that I think so many of us can pick up on is this irrational core belief or plain lie that I'm safe if I just step back, withdraw, and do the 9 to 5 thing, right? Which
yeah,
isn't true. Not, I mean,
right.
of course, living out of passion and purpose and all of those things, but it's really not even true. Any company
Yeah,
or at any moment. I mean, many things could happen. Like we know this, and
right.
so into this false belief that like I'll be safe if I just don't do that again.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it at a level, like, I was safe, right? I mean, I wasn't stepping out in any type of, I had security, right? But it was a security that found myself dead inside. Like, it wasn't I was safe on the outward, but like
Mm,
I was not able to walk in what I wanted to do. I wasn't happy. I wasn't joyful. Like a lot of life was stolen from me because of that. And so yeah, it might be safe, but are you living the way you want to live, right? That's where I came to. I was like, no, I'm not living the way I want to live
mm,
at all. So I've got to do something different, even if it means being uncomfortable for a little bit, or failing. It's way worth doing that than staying in this position of idleness.
yeah. And literally, we're not living by design. So if
Mm,
God put a blueprint inside every single person to release on the earth, whatever that is, and that might be
yeah,
whatever it is, it doesn't always have to be starting a business, but if we're not doing that, we're not living by design. And so, yeah, that's
yeah, that's good.
I think the other thing that I heard you say is the emotions. The emotions are so
Hmm.
intense. If you perceive you failed rather than like, man, this was my very first business. I'll probably start 10 business.
Yeah,
First one, and I learned so much, and I'm on to my second one. Like that's such a different mindset than being like, oh my word, this business failed, or that kind of thing.
right. No, I totally agree. Yeah, you definitely are like in a tunnel, like mindset wise or like focus wise. It's very like, oh my gosh, this is so dramatic. Like this is the only time I'm doing this, and it failed. I can't do another. I can't do another thing, or I don't have another idea. This was the only one. That type of stuff. In the moment, it is very heightened. Uh, the emotions of it all, but realizing like it's okay. Like we fail all the time, not even in business, like you were just saying, like even in life there's so many things, simple decisions like that was a wrong decision, and what do we do with that? Like we say, oh wow, that was wrong. You think about it for a little bit and it's like, okay, I'm not going to
Mm.
do that again. Well, why can't we translate that for business too? I think there's so much pressure in getting it right the first time that we don't realize that it can be the same thing as just changing a mindset, or just as simple as, you know, like I just said, making one decision and that being wrong, to, just changing your mind to make the right decision next time. It's like same thing for business. Like we just need to change this one little thing and make it different for the next time so we can see a difference.
Yeah.
So
So I'm super curious how, like, you said you did that for about 2 years where you were in this, tunnel vision, safety, perceived safety. How did you get yourself out of that? Like, did you have a revelation one day or a realization? Was it over time? Like, how did you pull out of that?
yeah, I think it was several things. I think Autumn, my wife, she started noticing like, hey, you're like not living like joyful, like you're not
Mm.
living in what you want to do. And so I really felt like that, like people around me, like I feel like even you were like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing with your life? What's the next thing? What are you thinking about? What are you dreaming about? That type of stuff. People were beginning to, bring that to the forefront of my mind, and it made me take a step back, and I really begin to just, even though in the moment I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to do this again because I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. And so that was always my response to everybody. Like, yeah, I get it, but I don't want to fail. This is something that I'm not failing in. I'm having success, if you will, in what I'm doing. So I'm fine with it. Like I'm just fine staying here. But enough time of those bringing that back and forth definitely was a struggle. It was a struggle, but getting to that place of like, no, like there's only one way I can live, obviously, like with the Lord, but the only way to me to have fulfillment and enjoy life here, like I've got to do something different. And so it just
Mm.
really came to that point of like hitting that, like, okay, this is a make or break. I'm either going to do this 9 to 5 for the rest of my life, or I'm going to do something different. And so, uh, really overcoming that made a difference for me. Really seeing that
Yeah.
and then saying, no, I want this. Even though this is scary, I want to be able to control my own outcome. I want to be able to control my days. That's definitely a big thing. I don't want to be controlled by somebody else. I want to be able to say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing today," or "This is what I'm doing a week from now." Having the fluidity of that was definitely a big thing for me. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. By the way, we lost you for just a few seconds.
oh no,
You jumped back in at a good time. So I think we got it all.
okay, good,
S-
good,
Yeah. Well, I love your story. And, we talk about it often, but this is why we started Builders Collective Network, is for
yes,
entrepreneurs to have support, connection, and then, of course, strategy to build and to build well. And there's so much synergy in coming together and brainstorming together and sharing social media, all of those things. And so we invite you, if that's you, if you resonated with a
yes,
story today, we would love to chat with you, hear your story, and just see how we can help support you. So feel free to message us. We're both on social media and we would love to hear more. We hope you have a great week and we'll be back next week. See you soon.
absolutely. Love you guys. See ya.